existing on-premise solutions where customers have a data warehouse developed with IQ or other database, and SAP Data Services used to deliver data to data warehousing for further analysis. So that's the topic for our next presentation from WIIISDOM, also from France. We have Sacha and Loic on the call, and they will explain another solution coming from WIIISDOM, how to achieve end-to-end data visibility in case if the data transformations, ETL data flows are developed using SAP Data Services. So, Sacha, Loic, we have you on our digital stage.
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear us properly?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Excellent. I think
the stage is yours.
Excellent. Let's wait a few seconds. I think Loic is also joining the session.
And while you are connecting, I can mention that we have seen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Here in Riga previous events under different name, GBN Smith.
Can you hear me, Sacha?
Customers know it as a 360 solution. Now it's the name is WIIISDOM, but I'm sure you will tell us about all that.
Yeah, absolutely, Maurice. Thank you very much. Well, Loic, I'll let you share your screen with our presentation. Before we start, I'd like to share a few words in order to thank InfoTrust and SAP for setting up this event. We've been following the different sessions since this morning, very interesting ones. Thank you for all the participants also for being there. As Maurice mentioned, yes, indeed, for many of you here, you probably know us through the 360 Suite solution or GBN Smith. And indeed, quite recently, we have decided to rebrand the company. Quite a tough project, massive work from many departments internally, and we are glad to show you the brand new name, the brand new logo, which is WIIISDOM, much more aligned to our current vision. We have been market leader on business subjects for many years, assisting organizations to govern the data, and now our mission is to provide this kind of assistance on other BI applications. And we will be discussing also today about one of the brand new one, which is data services. Speaking of, well, just before we move on, let's share a few words about ourselves. My name is Sacha, working on the BI industry for more than 6 years now. Account manager, many of you probably know me as I've been recently traveling to Riga, well, recently before the COVID pandemic and all this stuff, but yes, indeed, taking care of many European countries. So spent some time traveling. Very sorry not being here with you guys in Riga, having the opportunity to see you face to face, but very happy still to have the opportunity to be here on this virtual event. And I let Loic introduce himself.
Hello, Sacha. Hello, everybody. Yeah, thank you for having us today. So my name is Loic Nowicki. I'm a Presales Engineer at WIIISDOM. It's been 5+ years now that I help organization and company to deal with data, data governance, data consistency on SAP product, not only more recently. So yeah, I'm happy to be here with you today. I'll be assisting Sacha on the technical part of our presentation, and I hope you will enjoy the session as much as you enjoyed the previous one. Sacha, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Loic. So indeed, I was mentioning data services as a strong ETL, and as also we are running an analytic event. I assume many people in the room might be in charge of the ETL, might be ETL administrators. And this leads to some of my previous conversation with either customers, prospect, partners, to check exactly how we can rely and trust the data we have in our analytic platform. And everything led to Loic and I to decide exactly what would be the theme of today's session. And this is exactly the kind of question we would like to answer, is that how you can be sure that you're providing healthy data to your analytics platform and your end users. So, I mean, let's go into this topic. Before that, I'd like to take a step back and just review one of our a survey that has run the Gartner a couple of years ago, which I think is very interesting to see that organizations today are spending over $25 billion in the IT departments, which is a massive amount. And still, some other surveys shows that most of the CEOs, 4 out of 5, are still not trusting the data they're consuming to take the decision. So, I mean, same reaction probably as mine. This is for you that, yes, it leads to proper question. Why spend such an amount of money and why still not trusting it? We have discussed about data services, strong ETL. Loic, I'd like to ask you, my first question would be, what exactly data services, why is this so important for organizations?
That's a good question. We saw earlier that data is key with the previous session. Data services is important, and so important because for many of them, for many of the company, that's the only ETL. And ETL is at the foundation of the data. And if you want right analytics, you need to start from the beginning to build strong, reliable data. And your data services as a ETL is the solution that will fill your data warehouse, your data mart, data lake, to provide to the end user at the end of the day within your BI application the right data to answer the questions, to provide the KPIs in order to fulfill the organization objectives. And we should say also that the organization objective should be a reflection. I mean, there should have a reflection on the ETL jobs, because when you do jobs, when you create a project with workflow, data flow, and so on, your only goal is to respond to the objective of the organization. The organization needs KPIs, needs real and trusted data to take decision and make sure the decision that has been taken upon those data is the correct one. And as you said at the beginning, 4 out of 5 CEOs don't trust their data upon which they base the decision. So it's very important from the beginning, from the transactional database of your different many application up to the data warehouse and the data mart, that you have a good and healthy data. And so, you know, in the IT and the data department, we know that saying that say that shit in, shit out. If you have bad data coming out into your business object or whatever the BI solution, analytics solution you are using, it will very unlikely good data at the end of the day. So this is why it's very important data services as an ETL, because that the first step into your journey to achieve good and quality data in your company.
Okay, sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Loic. But then, if I have data services, what would be the impact if I'm not governing properly the data?
I mean, the impact is exactly the same as if you do not have any information to govern your other IT solution. But as data services is quite important, is very important you have capabilities to audit what is happening on data services, that you have easy documentation that you can rely to, but also share with other colleagues, other departments for whatever the reason, for audit purposes, for just making sure that everything that has been planned has been done successfully, or at least accordingly to what has been the plan. And so if you don't have an easy way to govern your solution as data services, you will end up by taking bad decisions because you don't have easily the information, or because it took too much time to retrieve that information. So you don't have the information quite fast for your end user. And at the end of the day, your end user will be unsatisfied because they had that feeling they can't trust the data. When they open a report and they see the figures or the KPI seems odd, you are the person that will be contacted as maybe the person in charge of data services, and then you have to answer questions. What is going on? What's happened? Does the job has been done successfully? How many rows has been retrieved? What are the source of that table? So all of that information is very complicated at the moment to retrieve from SAP data services, and most of the people need an easy way to retrieve and get those information. So this is why it's important to have information from your different solution, and this is why it's important if you don't have any elements to answer that questions and topics.
Thank you, Loic. Well, I think we will jump directly into this topic and see exactly how we can and we are able to govern this data and to answer this specific question of how we can rely on the data we are sharing with our analytic application.
We bring what we just mentioned earlier. So we have some solutions that help you to have an easy documentation that can be printed, that can be Excel spreadsheet, that can be shareable. We have solutions that help you to perform audit and impact analysis when you want to know what are the impact about the transformation, about a data store, which jobs are executing and loading stuff on that data stores. So it will bring you that information handy. And of course, as many people using data services are also users of business objects, this solution is plug and play. It means that this solution is shipped with reports, Webby reports and universes that help you to have out-of-the-box reports that give you that level of detail straight from the beginning. So just to give you a sample of what we bring out of the box, this is, so those samples come from 5 different Webby documents we ship with our solution. And each of them give you some details about project, workflow, jobs, data flow, and data stores, as you can see. If we focus on the jobs, you can see we can easily look at what has been executed, when the job scheduled, when the scheduled job started, when it ended, how many rows has been performed, process, etc. As for the data flow, for instance, you can easily see all the data flows and what has been done. If there is any transform, you can see the mapping formula, for instance. So if you need to have that information, or if you need to audit which object has been performed using that formulas or other formulas, this is handy. You can have something more reliable. You don't have to open data services, navigate through the different project, different data flow to find out the information. And at the end of the day, you can't export that data. So here you have everything that can be exported because those are Webby documents. So you can export to PDF, to Excel spreadsheet. You can share, of course, internally using inboxes. So you already know, I'm pretty sure, business object, all the capabilities, but it gives you those information very handy out of the box.
Okay, well, thank you, Loic. I think this kind of process not only answers to ETL administrators. I was mentioning them at the beginning of the conversation. I'm sure this kind of topic interests them, but I think also BI and analytic team could benefit from this, as it will help them to trust the data. And I think that GRC teams can benefit from this, because it will help them to track properly the data and have a proper end-to-end understanding of the data through the analytic.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's been 5 years now, and I've worked with many different profile, different departments, sometimes a business department, sometimes IT department, and they all have some questions. But at the end of the day, you need, you need governance over data services, because you can answer with that kind of information question that ETL developer may have, but also you can help GRC teams to comply with some regulation and BI analysts to be confident in the data that has been processed by the different jobs and then deliver into the analytics solution. So yeah, you're exactly right. And if I go a step further, maybe for the more IT people in the audience, this is what we can bring with our solution. So basically here you have a schema of what is data services and the most common item used. So you can see we have the project, we have the workflow, data flow. So you can see the sources, the targets, the connection, the tables, the field. When it comes to the transform, you can see the query transform, the merge, the map operation. So all of that can be documented and extracted with the solution. Same for the data stores, and more to come on future releases, of course. But this is just to giving you an idea of all the metadata we are able to extract right now with the solution. And so just to circle the loop, we have discussed many things. So we have discussed why data services is important, why it's also important to have strong governance capabilities to manage and pilot data services and answer common questions. You saw with the previous slide that we can extract many metadata from data services. And for the people who are also using business object, we can also do the same at the business object level. So here in that scheme, you can see that our solution, so the name is 360eyes, if you was wondering, we can extract SAP data services. So you see that's the top left icons, but we can also connect to your file store, your auditor, and your CMS database to extract the metadata from business object as well and provide an end-to-end lineage. So from the jobs up to the WIIISDOM document itself. So you have all along the chain as it comes for the SAP solution.
Thank you, Loic, for circling the loop. Indeed, well, we have mentioned this. I have clarified at the beginning. As a market leader on business objects for over 15 years, we have been assisting many organizations with many needs around business objects, helping also InfoTrust run proper projects at customers, and we are happy also to be part of this partnership together. You'll see that we interact with many of them. And today, and I think we will be able to jump on the next slide as we will be soon coming to the end of the session. It is a proper way also to introduce our brand new vision. And I can't wait to show you more of this, is to be able to make trusted decisions together, not only on business objects, as we have been doing this for 15 years, but on many other aspects, ETL, BI, analytic. Okay, so we have been showing you SAP Data Services capabilities from our solution today. Some of you know our capabilities on business subjects. We can't wait to show you more. And if you need any further information, do not hesitate to get back to Maris, to get back to Loic, and I will be more than happy to show you more, answer your different questions. And probably, Maris, I know we have been running out of time, but if some people have direct questions, we'd be more than happy to answer them. Just let us know if we have some.
Thanks so much, Loic and Sacha. And indeed, we have been working with you for years now. We have customers here in Latvia in the telco industries, in banking, where these solutions are used along with business intelligence solutions. But here I have a question. In IT world and in projects, typical question companies are many times facing about documentation. So whenever we're asking about is this source system documented or is this product documented, answer is many times yes, but it's not up to date. And sometimes the documentation is even missing. How about data warehouse projects or data integration projects with ETL? Can the solution address this issue of documentation?
So yeah, the quality of the line was not that good. So I'm not sure to have fully understood your question, but I'll try to rephrase. So you ask how this solution can help people to have up-to-date data when it comes to documentation. Is that your question?
Yes, about helping out with customers maintaining documentation about your project, for example.
So this is a good point. Our solution keeps history of everything that has been made. And what we do with our solution is we extract the metadata regularly. So it can be once a week, once a month, depending on how often you need to rely on those data. And we keep that into a database. So you have that history in-house, and it's up to you to, create documentation about what you have, but you can also select your standpoint. So if you want to see what was the activity 6 months ago, this is also feasible because we extract the information regularly. We store that data into a database. And so if you are a business user customer, you can use our Rebit document, the one pre-canned we ship with our solution. If you use other technology, you can connect to that database and query that database directly. But yeah, this is, the short answer is that we extract that data regularly. There is a job, so you run the jobs, and when the job is done, you have a new extraction of what has been done lately, and then you just have to query that data in a database.
Thank you, Loic. Good answer.
Yep.
And
yep.
I think it really could be a good time saver for dealing with documentation, which is important to be in control of what has been developed and to be in control and trusting your data.
Yeah, and you have history, so you can still rely on what has been done in the past month and provide answer to some people who try to audit what has been done the last couple of months or even last year if you keep as long.
Yes, thank you. And I really hope that next time we can have you here live on stage in Riga. But with that, I thank you for the presentation and the demo. And before we go to the details about what we have heard today, the full content of the presentations as PDF files, plus all the recordings of each of today's session. So if in case you have missed any of the presentation during lunchtime or break, you will have chance to get it back to it and share it perhaps also with your colleagues. But coming back for today's agenda, Einar,
yes,
what was your impression?
What an exciting day. So many news. By the way, audience, you haven't seen that, but we indeed here was listening to all the sessions and shaking your head like this and with real excitement online. And we sometimes even show these kind of the finger signs. So very great performance for all our presenters. So thank you very much for being with us. And what we have heard today, so basically we started with a SAP Analytics session. Yes, so we have heard about the road mapping and from the different SAP solutions. Then Maris, your session regarding BI 4.3, business objects, new releases, and two exciting presentations about the business objects extensions like V4Visa and also the geospatial data capabilities. And then yes, Data Warehouse Cloud, Data Intelligence, and our last session about the data lineage. So really exciting topics, and we are sure that you get the best out of these sessions.
Yeah. And for the audience, if you have any further questions on any of these topics, please don't hesitate to contact me or Einars or any of the speakers directly. As well as many of today's presenters mentioned, the trials are there available for you. And if you need assistance, we can run proof of concept for your organization to validate the case in your particular business question or business need. So please reach out to us and we will be more than happy to help you.
Yes, I can just only agree about that. All right, but then next event. How about next event? Are you looking forward for having the next event? Me too. I'm sure that you're also having these kind of head shakes and you want to...
Not because of you're listening to AC/DC.
No. You want to hear about the next event. And the next event, how about next event?
I really think that we can bring it next spring, and depending on the situation, but I really hope that we can make it, if not fully on-site, then hybrid, because today's topic was also about hybrid analytics. Why not having hybrid event with on-site and in the remote cloud?
Right, and those who are visiting us remotely from outside Latvia, so stay tuned. Maybe you will need to reserve some tickets for the flights.
All right. Thank you so much for that attention today and for your time. And hope to see you next time.
Yes. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day. And we see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.